Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Ford, and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, everyone, what's going on?
So what's going on is Mike Haspel is pretty much up for an award for best book in the history of ever.
Yeah, so Graveyard Shift is actually a finalist among 3 finalists for the Colorado Book Award for 2018, which is a pretty big deal. So that's awesome. If you haven't picked up the book yet, go ahead and go get it. It's available pretty much anywhere books are sold and on Audible too. And if you ask me for my money, the audiobook is the best way to experience it because Michael Kramer does an outstanding job on it.
Yeah, you sound way
awesome,
different.
Congratulations, man! Yep. By the way, like that is an amazing feat. Great job.
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice to be vindicated, especially, as any kind of artist, you're always wondering, am I a hack? Do I suck or whatever? But this was like just an outside vindication of yeah, you're good. You're a
badass.
So
you got good. The wallet to prove it.
Makes me happy to hear. Greatest book in the history of Colorado is the official title of the award.
Oh, I must have read it wrong.
Also, when Mike Haspel wins it, it officially becomes the Mike Haspel Award of Excellence.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. It honestly, just making it as a finalist is good enough for me. But yeah, it'd be nice to win, obviously, but I'm not holding my breath. The competition is stiff.
Stiff.
Can I go to moviepoopshoot.com and give them bad reviews? Will that help your cause?
No, it will not help my cause.
So this is like an academy of people voting on your book?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's not like a public thing. You can't go in and like upvote my book or anything like that. It's like a select group of people that vote on it.
In Colorado? Because it seems
in Colorado, yeah.
It would be pretty messed up if people were in Hawaii. No offense to Hawaiians, but they might not know as much about Colorado's whatever you people are called.
You should be able to let people in Colorado vote on the book and people in Miami. And vampires.
And vampires.
Yeah, because that's one thing that's like, it is a Colorado book and it was written in Colorado, but kind of set in Miami. So
what does one call a resident of Colorado?
Coloradan.
Okay. Kind of flows. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty common knowledge, Rob.
What's not common knowledge is the fact that you can actually live in Colorado and wear scarves.
You wear scarves on the beach in North Carolina, so I don't see
it was like 36 degrees out.
Then why were you at the beach?
Why wouldn't I be at the beach?
Because it was 36 degrees out. You just answered the question. I don't even understand. Make any sense. Why would you go?
Chewbacca was a Wookiee. This makes no sense.
Yes, he's a Wookiee. He's obviously from the homeworld of Wookiee is Prime, and he speaks Wookiee.
Moving on to bigger and better things. We actually have quite a bit of news on the news front. Obviously, this is probably our last Adepticon or our last podcast webcast before Adepticon. We may do some live shenanigans from there.
I was going to say, Robbie B, don't put that evil on us, Ricky, to say that this is our last Adepticon.
Oh my gosh. Side note, I counted it up. I've been to 12 out of the 16.
Cool.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy if you think about it.
This is my 11th.
I can't remember last time I did 6 or 12 things in a row.
I can't.
I think this is my 5th.
It's got to be Haspel's like double digits as well.
Yeah, it's up there for me. I don't know how many though.
Like because you and I you went 2007 as well, right?
Yeah.
So like
because we used to go when it was in the other hotel that was across
the
from
other hotels.
yeah,
too.
the other hotel that was across where the GW used to have GT
from the Staples Convention Center.
Yeah, they used to have their GTs there.
Yep,
and games days there.
Yeah,
they put
a long time ago. That was like 2003, 2004.
Were you there the year that it like they had all the fantasy players outside in like a tent in the courtyard? And it like super rained.
Yeah.
That was 2007. Yeah, that was like the last year it was at the other hotel.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense then.
And so now we're in 2018, haven't missed an Adepticon, and I don't plan on missing another one ever.
Nah, they're legit. So we got that coming up next week. For all of us, we'll be out there.
Remember, if you live in that area, if you think about making the drive, it doesn't matter if you're playing or not. As we always say before a major event and you're not going with anybody, if you feel like you don't know anyone in the room, that is a lie. You know us. Come hang out, chill. Do not make it feel awkward like, oh, I listen to those guys, but I don't want to go chill and talk with them. They won't talk to us. We literally want to.
As long as you bring a Smirnoff Ice and sneak up on us and force us to drink the Smirnoff Ice, we're immediately friends.
We are dedicated this year. I'm actually, you want to know what? Not playing in the team event this year is probably like the single greatest, glorious moment of my Adepticon that I can think of already. Not having, it's an amazing time. It's a great time. But playing in the singles, running the long war double, and then playing in 5 games, speaking over, yelling, trying to get, because there's hundreds of people, 500 people in this room, all trying to get their point across. And I lose my voice every year. Every year I lose my voice. I am looking forward to just being able to chill.
Agreed. Yeah. As much as I would never tell anyone not to play the 4-man team, it's one of the best, most unique events in the world. This is the first time we're gonna be able to run a booth. We're partnered with Slow Fuse Gaming, Jason Craze, booth 801, Long War Scavenger Hunt. We've actually talked about it, so this is like one of the last times we're going to talk about it. Is so the way it's going to go down is, I think we have 100 flyers available, and there's going to be a limited amount that are available to you each day, as the scavenger hunters. So like there's a max of like X 25 on Friday, because we want you to play it as much as you can on Saturday and Sunday. So it's like the first 25 people to go to the beer cart, get their beers, unlock the flyer, begin their scavenger hunt. That's Friday. But on Saturday and Sunday, that's the rest of them. That's the rest of the 100. So supplies are limited, and I would say plan on playing on Saturday and Sunday. Come by the booth after you get your beers and you get your flyer. Redeem that flyer. We will hand you your first clue, and you will go on a scavenger hunt and get literally a bag full of free shit and discounts and other cool shit. Never done before.
Nah, I like it. I'm in. Wait, can I participate?
Yes, sir.
Nice. I'm down.
But anyway, I'll let you guys talk about other things, because I'm sure there's going to be a Spikey Bits post coming up soon about all the legendary swag you can get at that booth.
I feel like that's your way of asking me to do it.
You just got voluntold.
I'll voluntold another writer.
It's like
I'm sort of at the top of the chain.
It's like when you bring your girlfriend to a very public place to break up with her.
Oof.
That's what I just did to you.
It's not you, it's me. It's not me, it's you. Sounds good.
Don't make a scene.
Before we get started with all the news that's coming out of Gamma and everything like that, I wanted to talk about a listener who his name's Mason. He's running a new product called Squad Markers, and it's at squadmarkers.com. You can go check it out. It's actually a really cool thing. He's trying to get he's doing kind of a non-Kickstarter for it, trying to raise some funds. It's essentially like a little clip that clips onto your base so that you can just mark your guys as inspired or as being part of Squad A or Squad B. And when they clip onto the base, they don't add any room at all. They don't make it thicker or anything like that. So it's pretty neat product. You can go check it out. Uh-oh.
We lost the juice.
We lost juice.
He's hobbying so hard. He just like had to go. So I gotta get not now, guys. Gotta go.
Shit went down.
Well, let's cover some of this new product stuff. I'm sure Haspel's got some of the Gamma stuff unlocked, so I'll leave that to him. But first up is pre-releases for this week will be Forgebane with the Baby Knights in it. And of course the Cryptek and all the other goodies. Another random $188 worth of both AdMech and Necrons. The price point on that box will be $160. We're projecting its value to be about $322. So you're going to have at least a 50% savings on it, buying it at retail versus MSRP for all the items inside of it. And that's assuming that the Knights are going to be $50 each, but they might be $60, but we're just kind of playing it on the safe side there. And it will be released at Adepticon weekend. So that's pretty cool. This weekend there's a big Magic release. None of you are probably interested in that, so I'm just going to skip that one for now. And with the Necron Codex leak, so I guess fresh, I would imagine that the Necron book will be out here eventually. We'll know probably Adepticon weekend for sure. There was a lot of previews today at Gamma about upcoming products that are probably going to be Q2, but they definitely left out specifics about the Ion and Deepkin, as well as, you know, anything specific to 40K that was outside of the kill team, which I'm sure Haspel is about to cover in his Gamma wrap up here.
But I think the rumor was that it'll be at the end of March for the Necron Codex.
That is the rumor. Can't say either way at this point, really, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just we know that the pre-sale's going on the other thing next week. So,
but I would imagine that they'll at least talk about that because they usually do a Sunday preview. GW does, and you know, towards the middle third of the month, they'll put out basically what's going to be the big thing for the next month, and we'll know we'll probably know this. No, we would know this Sunday. We would know this Sunday if the Necron book is coming out that week. So look for that this Sunday. What is that? I don't even know. 17th, 20th, 19th, one of those numbers. It's the 18th. Almost right. Almost nailed it.
Yeah, so anybody who's like knows about retailers and everything like that, the Gamma huge trade show for games and everything is going on right now in Reno. GW and basically every game company out there started just unveiling stuff, and we've got a lot of stuff coming back down. We've got a new Blood Bowl crew coming down. They showed that they're bringing back Fury of Dracula, which is one of my favorite games. Old school Games Workshop game. FFG did a redo of it, and now WizKids has got the license, and they will be bringing that back out in July. We saw them going to re-release Kill Team. Now this is going to be its own game. It is not going to follow the 8th edition 40K rules. It will have its own rule set. And what was interesting is right at the end of the little video, and they had a video playing that they've put up on Warhammer Community since, it said organized play. And that kind of got my attention. I was like, ooh, I wonder what they're going to do for organized play for, Kill Team. But that sounds fun. Another interesting thing is on the video, they had a D10 sitting on the table. So I don't know if that was supposed to be like a wound marker because, they sold those D10s as wound markers, or if it was actually part of the game. They also unveiled the final 2 Shadespire warbands, Magor's Fiends and the Farstriders. And we knew those guys were coming. They've been in the rule book for Shadespire since it dropped. But it was nice to actually see the miniatures. And in Magor's Fiends, they have, what is that dog called? It's like a big chaos hound. but it was huge. It was like on a 60 mil base. So I was like, ooh, that is going to be interesting to see how that plays, on the Shadespire board. So I'm psyched for that.
And it's only a matter of time before some version of a Dreadnought, a big and better, cooler looking, models come out.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope not, but I hope not for this incarnation of Warhammer Underworlds. The next season, who knows what'll happen? But yeah, I'm curious to see what's going on there. Also, I don't think there's a Chaos Bloodhounds are plastic yet, are they? But
no, they are not.
Yeah, so the Shadespire model, I think, is the first or second Bloodhound that is actually plastic. So it would be interesting. It might hint that they might have a plastic kit coming out soon, but I'm not trying to read too much into that. They also announced the Vansar gang for Necromunda. They're going to be the next gang, and I used to play those guys in the Enforcers, so that kind of has me excited.
Enforcers was my heat.
Yeah. And then they announced 40K Dice Masters. If you guys ever played any of the Dice Masters games, they're a lot of fun. I played the Marvel Dice Masters with the X-Men and Avengers and everything like that, and that was a lot of fun. We'll be seeing that drop in June, a 40K version of that. We're also going to be seeing in June the Battle of Ultramar board game that drops. We already have a card. One of the cards for that was in a White Dwarf, I think maybe last month's. Whichever White Dwarf had the extra Shadespire healing potion, it had a Blood Bowl card, and then it had a card from this Battle from Ultramar, and we didn't know what it really was for. And it's for this board game that's coming out. It's Orcs against Ultramarines, I think. That will also be dropping in June, and that is not a miniatures game. So that is not like like the games that they've been putting out that are kind of board game, miniature game hybrids. This looks like a straight up board game. And we've got Wrath and Glory, which is a new RPG that is coming out. It is separate from the FFG RPGs. So it's not like, Rogue Trader and Dark Heresy and Only War, all that stuff. But it is contemporary with the events that have been happening. So the Great Rift is in this RPG. The Primarch is back with Gulliman and everything like that. So all that stuff is happening. They said that that is targeted to come out in August, but we should have access to the quick start rules on June 16th, which is free RPG day. So that should be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I enjoyed playing Rogue Trader. I didn't play Dark Heresy that much, but it'd be nice to get back into some 40K RPG stuff.
Dude, I have to admit, Dark Heresy is probably 3.5 D&D and Dark Heresy are the unicorns for me of role playing, and Dark Heresy was just unreal. My character, I was just absolutely in love with. It was unbelievable. The reason why I loved it so much is it reminded me of like character generation in D&D, where in the beginning, like Magic Missile was like the most scariest shit in the world. Like you just died. People just died. Well, when I played Death Watch or any of these other things, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm a Space Marine. I'm not dying. Dark Heresy, when you started out, you were just like the lowest peasant. Yeah. You had the lowest form of a data slate to get you into places. Like nobody showed you any respect. You were like drooling at the mouth to get like a stubber. It was just what an absolute great game. If anybody's into role playing and hasn't played Dark Heresy, it's the one.
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm very curious to see what Wrath and Glory is going to be like, because that's going to be the new RPG going forward. Let's see what else really quickly. There's a Warhammer Fantasy RPG. The next version of that will be coming out too. So they showed all that stuff. That was all of Gamma. And because I'm secretly like a BattleTech, I can't get off the BattleTech train. I adore it. So not only is there a new BattleTech game, computer game, turn-based strategy, coming out on Steam, but there will be a new BattleTech starter with a new version of Alpha Strike. They showed that at Gamma too. So I just have to mention that because BattleTech has a special place in my heart, even though it's been a long while since I've actually played the tabletop version. I still remember games of BattleTech very fondly. And then in the other news, let's see, ATC, that's in Tennessee, July 14th weekend. They announced that there's going to be a Shadespire Grand Clash there. So that's going to be kind of cool. Yeah. In addition to all the 40K shenanigans that go on and the other games that they have, they are running a Grand Clash for Shadespire. So if you're looking at Grand Clashes for Shadespire, put that on your radar. Vermintide 2, which is Vermintide 1 was a phenomenal game. And it's kind of a co-op survival game where you're in the old world of fantasy and being overrun by Skaven. You got to work together. Think Left 4 Dead on steroids, but with different character classes. And Vermintide 2 looks to be the same. That is out now on Steam, so run out and get it. And then Black Library can they clarified what their Return of Inferno was going to be. And if you guys remember, Inferno was that magazine way back when that had, artwork and short stories and some additional fluff and stuff like that. Well, they're not returning the magazine format, but they are going to return it in a series of anthologies. And so they're talking about volume 1. We will see it before the end of 2018. And if you guys recall, Black Library has their submissions window open right now. So if you've ever wanted to write for the Black Library, go to the Warhammer community website, look on the right-hand side, click on any article, and then look on the right-hand side. There'll be a thing that says write for the Black Library. You can go ahead and click on that. It'll have all the guidelines. Their window closes April 10th for any of the content. And that's my news that I've got right now.
So let's take a quick break and come back and break down everything we need to know about the town.
Elric'sHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elric's Hobbies. Elric'sHobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Longwar Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com.
And we're back. Okay. So we're going to break down the signature systems and the stratagems, do a kind of round robin minus Haspel. I feel like Haspel doesn't have much to say
about. Haspel has input.
I literally kind of don't. I mean, I don't know Tau. I don't want to know Tau. I don't. So I don't know what I'm not value added in this conversation.
Oh, so far the most epic round robin we've ever done was the one where you did movie quotes.
I don't know if I have that in me today.
All right, Rob, break it down.
That's fair. All right. So signature systems. Let's talk about the ones that I think that we've talked about that are probably the better, the winners over the what is it, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Signature systems 15. Equals relic equals artifact equals all that shit.
Yep, basically. Of course, there is a stratagem that allows you to take additional ones. That seems to be pretty much standard. So if you want to take more than one, well, you can. There's that option for it. So first off, I forget what we said about this one, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning, is the Puretide Engram Neurochip. Once per battle, you can reroll a single hit roll, wound roll, or damage roll made for the bearer or friendly sept unit within 6. In addition, if your army is battleforged and the bearer is on the battlefield, roll a d6 each time you or your opponent use a stratagem, and on a 6-up or a 6, you gain a command point back. Or you gain a command point.
So it's a poor man's grand strategist that actually what I like is no, it's only limited to I forgot grand strategist gives you a free command point.
We put this one in the hot garbage category actually.
Yeah, I mean at first I didn't know it was both every time you and your opponent. I thought it was just every time your opponent. So like there's an average of 9, so there's going to be 18 stratagems used or 12 stratagem used a game. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe
it's trash, not that good. But
and it's also one roll per stratagem, not one roll per command point.
Per command
and
point,
it's on a 6. Like so, it's
yeah.
I mean, like I would say, yeah, take this one, but there's at least one that's better. So that's why this one is for like most of these signature systems are not good. They're not.
No, to be honest, like on a scale of 1 to 10, for not just what is good, just like what there are as an option to choose from. I don't believe, any of them are that good. So this one is still kind of, I guess, middle of the road. But I would like to caveat because there's going to be a lot of that. In my opinion, the NIDS are one of the strongest books that are out there right now. There is one really good relic in that entire book that is for Kraken. And then the other one is just like, all right, fine, default. I get to add 6 inches to my, synapse check range. Like everything else is hot garbage. So every book just not nail. Every book isn't the Custodes, right, Haspel? Book doesn't have a million relics that you want to take. So
yeah, that is very true.
But sorry. Continue, Robbie B.
Well, moving on, we did talk about the Supernova launcher, but I think we kind of came up with the opinion that it wasn't worth it because do you really want to place a fusion blaster or something?
Is that way? Is the Supernova launcher is the indirect fire, strength 6, -2, 2 damage, replaces one of the other weapon options on a commander, basically?
Oh, no, it replaces an air-bursting fragmentation projector.
Which is one of the things you replace for a fusion. So, like,
correct.
We said this is not bad. This is definitely way better than the one you just read us, because if you do take like a missile commander or something, he can set up in a spot, blast all his missiles at this little squad, and then send his indirect fire shot at the 3 Reapers hiding behind the wall. It's D6 shots, right?
It is D6 shots, yeah.
So like it's not my favorite relic, but it's definitely better than the last one that we read.
Yeah, and I think you said it best right there was that if you're taking a fusion guy, like absolutely, you would never give up quality shots with your commander for this. But if you're in your army archetype, you already have a missile launcher spam commander, absolutely. I would think about throwing this guy out there.
Yeah, I mean it's something. It's definitely worth mentioning, but it's not like super standout. It's like you were saying with the with the Tyranid ones. One I think is definitely stand out once we started talking about commanders and such. This is the vectored maneuvering thrusters. You can put it on a Sept battle suit only. The model may immediately move up to 6 inches after attacking in the shooting phase. So like old school run equals 6.
Solid.
It's the best one. Like
hands down. Give me this one all day. I mean, anytime that you get a free move, like how do we put this in perspective? This is a free soul burst, but you can only use it for move.
There is a colloquialism in the English language that basically is about this. It's you get to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You get to roll up Superman. Basically commanders are Iron Man now, like cold suit commanders, whatever they're called. Dude, Iron Man's across the battlefield, kills the thing he wants to kill, and then gets to boost up behind this wall. You're always going to put this guy to where the 6 inches will put you behind a ruin. Right? Because he can hop the wall because he's fly.
Yep.
Yeah, and so to clarify, to make sure people understand, Tau suits have the commander has the ability to, is it a stratagem that allows him to move 20 inches extra in a single turn?
No, he just that's his advanced move.
It's 20 inches.
Yeah, let me read it to you exactly. In Cold Star battle suits. One second.
Sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to put you on. But like once you find it, but like when you're being able to move as fast as far as possible with a short range weapon and then still get to move afterwards, unbelievable.
So the Cold Star ability, when this model advances, add 20 to its move characteristic for that movement phase instead of rolling a d6, and his movement is already 20.
See, that's what I'm saying is like he can go 40, he can character snipe. And then, but if you do it right and you plan your movement out right, then you get to have your cake and eat it too. You get the character snipe and then back up behind that wall. Like it's
yeah, or back up behind a unit of Kroot that were a little too slow, or Fire Warriors or anything else.
Anything to make him not get shot. But even if he gets super out of position, he has this option. It's very fucking good.
Yep, it definitely gives you flexibility, which I think is key in this edition. And then the last relic that we talked about, now this was a preview from Games Workshop, so we kind of already knew about this, but it's Fusion Blades. It's for Farside Enclave model that has at least 2 Fusion Blasters, so that gives you some options there, what can take it. The Fusion Blaster replaces 2 of the model's Fusion Blasters and has the following profile. It has a range profile, which is basically a Fusion Blaster, 18-inch range, but it's Assault 2. Strength 8, neg 4, d6 damage, or in melee, or in melee, it is Strength 8, neg 4 AP, d6 damage. With the same ability for ranged,
it's like if you're playing Fireside, I guess this is okay. Like I mean, because obviously if you're doing the advance with the Superman Commander, you're playing that one sept that lets you advance with no penalty, right? Well, it doesn't matter because all that shit's assault, right? Isn't
most of your stuff's assault? Yeah.
Are Fusion Blasters assault or heavy?
They're that's a good question. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure there's
because I'm thinking that most of that shit doesn't matter, man. Like this one is okay because I like the option that you like. Yo, I shot, I whiffed, I can still do it in assault against like a tank or something. I like that.
Fusion Blasters Assault 1, yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm like, this is an okay backup plan. Like this one is like if you have 2 commanders, it's almost worth throwing a command point to pick this one up on the other one, you know?
Yeah, and you can switch seps and stuff too. Take Farsight, take whatever, have this.
Well, you have to. I mean, you have to take a whole second detachment just to get 2 commanders. So yeah,
true. It does not seem bad. So those are the signature systems that you can get, aka the relics and such. Then we'll kick it over to the stratagems. How many are there? 8. I think it's 22. We'll just go with 22. Somebody can fact check us later. So first up, remember there's a lot of 1 CP ones, which is kind of cool to see. And we talked about that taking a brigade is actually easy. There was somebody messaged us one that was less than 900 points, but I think you could get it down a little bit more.
There's 16-point fast attack choices in this codex.
Yeah.
You're going to be seeing Tau brigades all over the place.
Yeah.
24-point elites that shoot marker lights.
Yes, as I've talked about before, like I believe, the key to a cheap brigade is a cheap fast attack, because you're usually going to want to spend your points in your elite and heavy support anyway. No, this is powerful. That's how come.
Troops are
yeah, no, absolutely.
Points.
Fire Warriors, at the end of the day, they're not Custodes prices. They're not Grey Knight prices. They're, not even Space Marine prices. Brigades are definitely on the horizon.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Fire Warriors are so easy to put into the troop slot nowadays at their minimum points, so it's kind of nuts. All right, so first up, multi-spectrum sensor suite. This stratagem you play before a battlesuit unit from your army shoots. Enemy units cannot claim the benefit of cover against shots made by the unit this phase for 1 CP. What do you think?
It's useful. Got a bunch of Space Marines chilling in a fucking forest and they have 2 up armor saves now. That's fucking good.
Or, Devastators on a ruin or
in a building. Anything that's a Space Marine equivalent in cover is 2 up save now. Like, so if you don't have so if your basic dudes need to get that one guy out, like kill that last dude, math is really difficult when they're getting 2-up saves, you know? So this is for, and so when we already said assume you're going to have more than 12 command points. Yeah, this is a definitely not garbage, and it's definitely useful, in my opinion.
Failsafe detonator. Use the stratagem when a battlesuit unit from your army is deployed in a fight phase, or is destroyed in a fight phase, Before removing it, roll a die for each unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches. On a 4-up, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So, kind of like an auto detonate, but on a 4-up.
How many command points? 1?
1.
Yeah, worth it. I mean, like, if they're gonna kill your shit anyway, like,
you're gonna find yourself using it.
Yeah, that's useful. Like, the dude has Mortarion has 1 wound left. Fucking yeah. Let me see if I hit that 4-up.
Yeah, to be honest, you know how many times I've used. Now I did it with Guard before the book was out, and it was just an index. Or I mean, hell, if you have a lot of command points left, and again, there's a 1 in 6 chance that I can just know that I can stick this explosion. I've re-rolled that dice before, so I'm down to make it happen on a 4-up. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
not game changing, but no, it is definitely something that I would use.
And again, assume you have more than 12 command points in a competitive Tau army.
Yep. Oh, definitely. All right. One of the rare 2 command point stratagems outside of the Sept ones. This is the automated repair system. Uses stratagem to start by any turn. Pick a vehicle or battlesuit. That model regains D3 lost wounds for 2.
Yeah, Nurgle has one of those too. Love it. I use it all the time.
Is it 2 or 1 for Nurgle?
It's 2.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, like literally a 2-point, get D3 wounds back on my dude. Fucking dudes in close combat has 1 wound left, and I can't. And if I'm like 1 3-up save away from fucking giving up Warlord. Yeah.
2 command point Neuroweb System Jammer. At the start of an enemy shooting phase, pick a unit within 18 of a battlesuit commander. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls made for that unit this phase. So kind of like a...
Can you break down those keywords one more time for us?
Yes. So pick an enemy unit within 18 of a battlesuit commander. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls made for that unit this phase.
So I can pick a unit in your army to be -1 to hit against everything in my army?
As long as the thing doing it is a battlesuit commander and they're 18 inches away from
Wait, is it only -1 to shoot back at the commander? Or
no.
Okay, no, this is a good one. This is definitely a solid command point.
Yeah, exactly. I'm basing my army around a couple psychic abilities to do that combo stack against some armies. Yeah, so this is useful.
Yeah, you could throw that on a Fire Raptor if it was 18 within a commander.
Let me hit you with this. It is going to be 18 because I'm going to go 40 inches, blow some shit up, go about 6 inches behind a fucking wall, and then pop this motherfucker if I need to. After, whatever. When do you have to activate this command point?
Start of the enemy shooting phase.
Oh, yes. This is definitely that is one of my favorite ones so far, if not my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, if you get caught slipping and they turn the corner and they try to target you, you just be like, hey, I'm -1 to hit. Or if they swing by you trying to hit the rest of your army,
listen to
whatever.
This. So you Iron Man across the table, unload your fusion on the Fire Raptor. You actually whiff. You don't kill it. You hide behind a wall. It's on its last length where it hits on 5s. And then you're like, you hit on 6s, sucker.
Yeah, get good.
Get good.
Savage. Yep, that would definitely hurt. Next up is Repulsor Impact Field. Use the stratagem after an enemy unit successfully charges a battlesuit from your army. Roll a die for each model and enemy unit within 3 of your unit. On a 6, that model suffers a mortal wound.
We don't like this one. Me and Juice, I can already tell he doesn't like it.
Yeah,
it's garbage. This is a hot garbage.
All right. Command and control node. I think we saw the preview for this. This is the one where if at the start of your shooting phase, pick a commander, he doesn't shoot, but any battlesuit from your army within 6 gets to reroll failed wound rolls.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that was last week's. Yep.
Yeah, it's useful.
EMP grenades, interesting. Use the stratagem when a Tau Empire model from your army is chosen to throw a photon grenade at an enemy vehicle. Only make 1 single hit roll with this weapon. If it hits, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds.
That's how many command points is that?
1.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Anything-
everyone has that. Everyone has something like that's like Demon Shell from Chaos. I fucking
Mhm.
use that shit all the time. Like I shot at this fucking fire. We keep using Fire Raptor, right? Shot this Fire Raptor up. God damn it, it has one wound left. What else do I have? What else do I have? Oh yeah, Demon Shell. One command point. My bolter becomes a mortal wound bolter. Yeah.
I damn sure wish that my nits have something like that because I'd be using the hell out of it. I love anything that does mortal wounds.
Mm-hmm. 1 CP hunting hounds. Use this stratagem when a recruit hound from your army completes a charge against the enemy unit until the end of the phase. You can only reroll charge rolls, or you can reroll failed charge rolls for other friendly recruit units that are within 12 of that recruit hound after it completes its charge move.
So cool.
Useful.
Yeah, I like this. I like this because I don't know if y'all remember, but a Crute Hound used to give Crute the ability to re-roll their outflank.
Mm-hmm.
So like they've always,
the squad.
everybody always just had 12 Crute and a Hound or 10 Crute and a Hound, you know. So I like the fact that they kept that fluff.
They did a good job, I think, overall in the Tau Codex of keeping some of the crazy formation special rules, some of the stuff we've seen over the years. They've done a great job of just updating that thematically. And what's cool about this, that's one command point. And so if you have several Crute Hound units, this is one command point that effectively gives all the units that whole like command point reroll charge thing. Because, you know, that's a very common use of a reroll command point. Is an assault.
Yeah. It seems like you're getting value for the 1 CP.
Yeah. And that seems like a good tie-up unit, you know? So yeah, I'm with that. Especially
if they, you know, it only takes like a couple of models to surround another model so that bubble wrap can't fall back. So yeah, this could be super money right here, as long as you're taking hounds. And we already established hounds are 4 points each for fast attack slot. So 16 points for a squad. You're going to see these probably in those brigades. 1 command point uplink marker light. After an enemy unit has been hit by a marker light fired by a model from your army, place D3+1 marker light next to it instead of only one.
One of the best ones we talked about.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the webcast.
So like whenever I'm building a list, and like let's say I either skimp out, or if we find that like 12 marker lights is the number that you want, but if I got to start shaving points and I really want to get something else, like literally the first time, I don't see a reason why the beginning of every shooting phase, I don't just say the first one that sticks now.
Well,
I burn this.
Well, and also the Fireblade, that one of the cheap HQs that gives you like all sorts of buffs. That dude that guy has a marker light that hits on a 2-up or some shit. So like that dude is literally like, I hit D3 plus one more.
That's it.
He starts the game. He starts the game with it right there with 3 minimum.
Exactly. So now you know, like, damn, I've only got 7 other marker lights left. Boom. Now I can just put a couple here, the rest in this unit, and then keep it moving because you're trying to get to that 5 to unlock everything. And then you can still throw out other marker lights on things. So this will be used every turn. You'll build a list and you'll say, okay, well, I have 9 command points. 4 command points will be used because turns 1 through 4, I am going to use this shit.
No doubt. You can definitely see that happening. 1 command point, branched Nova charge. This is the one where you can get 2 Nova reactor effects when you use the
that's the heater.
Nova reactor.
We love that. We love that one. That's 3-up invulnerable Riptide. Also also gets the double shooter or whatever it is. Amp up his fucking burst cannon.
Yeah, that one will also get used every turn.
Yes, sir.
Because everybody knows 18 times 2 is 32.
Yep, that's what I said in the last podcast. I love how on Twitch you were like, somebody in the podcast said their numbers wrong. I don't know if it was Haspel.
It could have been me.
I don't know if it was Haspel. I don't know if it was Juice. It could have been me. And I was like, watch, I was like, motherfucker, you know it was me. Get the fuck out of here.
I actually didn't.
We actually all, like, I think that episode, we also all broke down our math skills that episode of like how Haspel's a rocket scientist. You were an engineer. Juice is like in retail, so he can do all the math instantaneously in my head. And I was like, yo, my brother passed my pre-algebra test in college for me.
Oh, and you also said reverse adding. And I was like, what?
So I'm like, of course this was me. But to clarify why that's such a good stratagem is like a burst tide has to Nova react to go to the Nova stat on his burst cannon. And then he also gets to get the free extra Nova when he plays this, and that means he has 3 up invulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
That's super fucking good.
Yeah, you're going to see that one a lot. 1 command point defense targeting relay. Use the stratagem when an enemy unit declares a charge against a vehicle from your army. When your unit fires Overwatch, a 5 or a 6 is required instead of only a 6. For vehicle, I feel like there's another way to get a 5 or 6, but okay. I don't know about that one.
Wait, what is it? You have to assault a vehicle to make this happen?
Yeah, a vehicle. But I'm pretty sure there's just the normal sept rule.
Yeah,
lets you.
I'm not with this one.
Overwatch on a 5 or a 6.
It doesn't even say +1 Overwatch. It says goes from 6 to a 5.
Yeah, it says when your unit fires Overwatch this phase, a 5 or a 6 is required.
See, if it just said +1, I'd be behind it. Because then there's potential stack opportunities, maybe with some other shit. But
that's also how the sept, the coordinated fire arc, is worded. So if you're
then it would stack. See, if theirs was a 5/6 and this one said +1, you'll be Overwatching on a fucking 4, 5, or 6. I'd be behind that.
It's almost like they did it on purpose.
Sons of bitches. This one shan't ever get used by me.
No, probably not. I mean, I guess you could use this theoretically, like if you had Long Strike and you were not Tau, so you were somebody, I don't even know. I can't even. I'm sure there's a use for this. We're not seeing it, but it's probably not that good if we're not seeing it.
Rob, sometimes the answer is there's no use for this.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm trying to be positive.
All stratagems are actually not created equal.
Next one up is the 1 command point / 3 command point one, where you can take extra signature systems. We all know how those work. 3 command point.
You might use it just to get, like I said, I can see myself running a jump behind a wall dude and a fireblade dude in 2 different attachments.
Yes, definitely. Orbital ion beam. We talked about this pre-game.
Love everything about it except the 3 command points.
Yeah,
way too expensive.
Yeah, it's way too expensive for what it does. Still look it up, you'll see it. 1 command point breach and clear. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase before a breacher team from your army shoots at an enemy that is receiving benefit of cover. They re-roll failed wound rolls against the enemy unit until the end of the phase.
Yeah, and another weird one. I mean, that one is more useful than some of the other ones. I do want to I want to go back to the orbital one just real quick, because I feel like we'd be doing an incomplete breakdown if we didn't at least sort of talk about it. It is so amazing on paper. Like, you pick 2 points in the battlefield, draw a line between them, all the fucking
2d6 apart. All
the units that you hit in between them. Yeah, I guess 2d6, so it can be huge. All the units in between those 2 points, it's like mortal wounds on a 4 up, right?
No, it's D3. It's just auto.
It's just
D3.
auto D3, bro.
But the character's on a 4 up.
Yeah, but that's so gangster, man. Like, you can hit somebody's gun line with that shit. And just be like, all your tanks take D3 mortal wounds, and it's like so nasty, except that it's got a variable 2d6, and the second thing is 3 command points. Now, I will tell you what, if I'm running 15 command points in my Tau army,
then it becomes viable.
You will see me use it. You will see me use this against certain opponents.
I was getting ready to say, if I'm running that many command points, I might just use it at the beginning of every turn or, every game, make my opponent feel some type of way. I just can't truly get behind something that's 3 command points and it's that expensive.
I mean, I'd be nervous about it with my decimators, like the way they have to deploy to use their to hide behind like a piece of terrain and to use the Lord buff. I'd be like, you just made 3 of my decimators take DD more wounds, man. Like, that's like, or an IG tank and a bunch of Earthshakers chilling in the back. If you have enough CPs, this is solid, because the rules are fucking fantastic. It's the payment that I'm not behind.
Yeah.
And you can randomly just pick any point, right?
Yeah.
And then the line is the variable of the 2d6.
Yeah, you just pick 2 points. Also, your Tau Empire commander could not have moved or used the Manta Strike ability. So it's kind of like Orbital Strike in a way.
Okay, so, and then I know this sounds like a stupid question, but so you pick your first point and then roll 2d6 and then pick your second point. Is that correct?
Well, the way it's worded, it just says pick 2 points on the battlefield, 2d6 apart. So I guess
you roll the 2d6 first.
You roll the
Yeah.
2d6 first.
I would say, yeah, because otherwise you couldn't.
So
pick those
that's actually a lot more powerful now that I hear it that way. I thought that you picked your first point, rolled the variable, and then picked your second point. Now you're telling me I know that I have 11 inches, and then I can pick my 2 points.
Yep.
I'm with that. Like, again, I don't know if it's something that I do all the time for 3 command points, but knowing, is half the battle. Captain Planet said that.
It's very situational. Like against certain armies, and if I'm building brigades, like I said, I'm going to be building brigades against certain armies. I will use this in the first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Especially with brigades running around there. So we talked about the breach.
Especially with the fact that one of these other command points one of these other stratagems I want to use. What's the one that it said I can't use if I use this too?
What?
It said you couldn't have moved or
jumped out of deep strike, basically.
Okay, so check it out. So like, there's that other stratagem that I love that we talked about where the dude can't move and the people get +1 to wound.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a commander one too. Like I'm like,
the neuro web. No, it was the command and control node.
Yeah, and it says like the commander cannot have moved this turn or something, or shot his weapons this turn, right?
Oh, that shot, yeah.
Yeah, so like you can easily just literally make a buff commander now for your army. A dude who is like the cheapest commander ever, and his job is to constantly not shoot and pop that stratagem, and constantly not move and pop the other stratagem.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess the other thing is like if you're down to just do 6, I guess your balls have to be like the size of Redskin potatoes. Like you really, if you're down to have the command points,
yours aren't.
Medium-sized Redskin potatoes, but like the large ones I'm talking about, like they're like, man, they must have been sitting next to the Idahos the entire time because these are like their girth is mighty.
I'm gonna need to call a doctor.
So if you can convince your opponent that you are just down to bust out 3 command points at the beginning of every turn, and you set the precedent on turn 1, you are going to make him come after this dude. Like the reason why I say is like, let's talk about guard. If guys are having company commanders that have the grand strategist, that's your warlord, you're just saying, yeah, you're getting your farm back with all your command points, not after turn 2. Like I'm down to make you pay right now. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is this guy, because of the threat that he can do to low wound characters, if you can connect on it turn 1, if you can roll that 4 up and do some damage, and there was nothing that your opponent can do about it, he's going to come after this cat. That in itself might be worth doing it just to throw him off his plan.
Yeah, I'm with that, dude. I'm with like, I'm going to get a brigade and I'm going to get a battalion, and my battalion commander is going to be like the cheapest fucking commander ever who's designed to just
do this
and get me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. With it. Sorry, Rob. I know we went real hard on that one because it's actually a way more complex stratagem than it first looked.
Oh, I agree. It takes up a lot of text here, so it's good. We took a second look at it. Recon Sweep, one CP. Use the stratagem at the end of your shooting phase. Select a Pathfinder team from your army. That unit can immediately move 2d6, but cannot shoot or charge this turn.
I know Juice likes that one.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you just gotta take over objectives. I really like that. If you're telling me that the stealth suits can blow up D3 to potentially D6 mortal wounds, can they do that?
No, they cannot.
Nope.
But stuff like that, like guys, don't overlook that. We just spent a few minutes about talking about it's all about killing, with this mortal wound trick. Like, to be honest, that stratagem will probably get used more in a progressive game or ended game than the mortal wound trick that we were just talking about. That stratagem.
You want to know why that stratagem is so good, Juice? Because most of the time what people do is they roll up, they shoot a unit, then they assault the survivors, thus bringing them into range of the objective, and then they hold it or contest it. Tau ain't trying to be about that life. This is, I get to shoot you, and then I get to move and get into range.
Yeah.
So like that is a very Tau stratagem.
Tau.
That's it. Ow. Next up is, now this one's worded a little weird, but let's break it down. Wall of Mirrors, 1 command point. Use a stratagem to start your movement phase. Pick a stealth battlesuit unit from your army that's within 6 of a ghost keel from your army. You may immediately remove the stealth battlesuits unit from the battlefield and set it up again anywhere within 12 of that ghost keel, but not more than 9 and more than 9 from the enemy models. Note that this does not count as falling back if the stealth battlesuit unit was within 1 of an enemy unit when it was removed.
So I can boost out of combat with this and still fucking shoot. Ballin'.
That's the way it's worded to me. But the only caveat is you have to be within 6 inches of a ghost keel.
Ghost keels are good. I'll have some.
I was getting ready to say, come to find out, most armies are going to have 2.
Okay. I have questions, but I'm going to save them for not now.
Later dates.
Yeah, later dates. 1 command. I like this one. 1 command point. Stimulant injector. Use this at the start of any turn. Choose a battlesuit model from your army with a wounds characteristic of 10 or more. Until the end of the turn, use the top row of the model's damage table, regardless of how many wounds it has left. This ends immediately if the model is reduced to 0 wounds.
Sick.
That is solid. Again, GW, solid golf clap. You are giving us, how many codex is this? Like 13, 12 codexes into 8th edition. And you are still giving us shit that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Guard kind of has the ability with Vestroians or whoever it is. Valhallans, but this is the first time that a monster, because they're not using this on tanks, on a monster, aka the Super Tuna or Riptide, something like that, is going to go back to shooting at their mediocre.
Yeah, it's like 10 or more wounds battle suits, so burst tide.
Yep.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But I like this one. We talked about it. Focus fire. This is kind of like the OG thing. Use 3 command points. Use a stratagem after Tau set unit from your army inflicts an unsaved wound on an enemy unit in the shooting phase. You can add 1 to wound rolls for any other Tau set units in your army that has targeted the same enemy unit this phase.
Yeah, we like that one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, solid. Anything that gives you a +1 to the wound rolls, strong. And the other one we like that we talked about earlier is the one where it's like reroll wounds against the unit, right?
I think that was the hold on. The command and control node if your commander does not shoot.
Yeah. So there's a couple of great wound stacks.
1 command point is called Strike and Fade. Now this is Daleth Sept only. Use a stratagem to start your shooting phase. Pick a Daleth set unit from your army. That unit may shoot and then immediately move up to 6 as if it were the movement. Cannot advance as part of this move. So kind of like the Relic, but for the whole Sept.
It's got useful play. Any movement manipulator, solid.
Yeah.
Well, it's also it wouldn't take up a relic slot, but it does take up a command point, so it's a little crazy there. I like this one. I kind of talked about why earlier. Experimental weaponry, Borkin stratagem. Use a stratagem when a Borkin set unit from your army fires a ranged weapon. That makes a random number of attacks. You can reroll 1 of the die used to determine the number of attacks made.
So you're spending 1 command point to reroll something?
To re-roll 1 of the dice used to determine the number of attacks made. Wait a minute.
Yeah. No,
that
so it's good. This is the reason behind why they do stuff like that is so now you can still use your 1 re-roll a game, air quotes, or a phase on something else shy of the number.
For example, we use this on the Yavari, right? Isn't his plasma his plasma torch is like 3d6. Or it's 2d6.
So, 1 is 3. The heavy is 3d6. The standard is 2.
Yeah. So so like basically you're saying I get to reroll 2 of the dice in determining how much face I melt off your shit.
Correct.
If it comes to that, if you just didn't get that 5 and a 2,
If you're like mathematically, I need to hit this number. Now you have really good math behind you
to just like melt faces. Yeah. It's pretty good. I like this one. And remember, Borkan is the extra 6-inch to all your weapons as well. So that plays really good with the Yvarni because their flamer is only an 8-inch weapon and it can deep strike, or it has to start on the board, but it can leave and then come back if you really need to and still be able to use it.
Don't feed them bad advice though. That's not a useful fucking talent that thing has.
It may not be in most situations.
Like one situation is it has 1 wound left and you need to knock die this turn so you can show up on the last turn and fucking get an objective.
So, still counts.
But yes, adding distance to its flamer and adding rerolls to its flamer, sick.
Now, if they give it, hey, you can have, Manta Strike ability and you can start in Deep Strike, well, that's a whole different ballgame. But we're not there yet. Positional relay, 2 command points. Use a stratagem to start your movement phase. Pick a Sept recon drone from your army. One of your Sept units that has been set up in a Manta hold can perform a low altitude drop. Set that unit up wholly within 6 of the recon drone.
Yeah, it gives you flexibility. I'm not going to use it that often because there's other ways to do similar things in the book that don't cost 2 command points, but I can see, it can be used.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little strong too for 2 command points, but yeah.
Yep. The hot-blooded is the one where you pick the Valora Sept infantry for 2 command points to shoot twice this phase. But all must target the closest enemy unit each time they do so.
Can this work? You can do this on like units with fucking marker lights though too, right?
Yeah, as long as it's infantry. I mean, you can do it on stealth suits.
I'm starting to think that that'll be one of my primary uses with this thing, Juice. Like so I can save points and keep my marker light count low.
Use all this stuff like this.
It would be like double. These Pathfinders are gonna just shoot twice with their marker lights, like shit. So I'm gonna ping something here, play a command point, get D3+1. Then I'm gonna ping another stratagem to where like everything in that radius gets 1, and then I'm gonna shoot these up, and maybe if I double shoot them, I get 2 units up to 5.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah, because again, is what we've talked about is like, going back to NIDS. NIDS have Hive Guard that they can double shoot twice because of their infantry keyword. Tau battle suits, riptide or broadsides, anything else, they're not infantry keyword. They're battle suit keyword.
It's basically stealth suits the only things that have like the type of guns we want that get to use the double shoot stratagem.
It seems like it's just flipping through it. Crisis teams don't.
Like the burst cannons get to shoot twice. Like these guys.
I mean, and this is all assuming that the same keywords are conferring over to the codex too, which I'm sure they're pretty close.
So basically, you're like, do I shoot these fucking stealth shoots twice, or do I get 2 units with 5 marker lights on them? Like, so those are gonna be your options, as far as I can see with the information I have.
Correct. And the Valora Sept rule is treats all rapid fire weapons as assault weapons. And no penalty to advance and fire those assault weapons as well. So there might be some play there, if you have, I guess if you have Fire Warriors, and for Valora Sept, they're pretty baller. Assuming that's your strategy. I don't know. 2 command point orbital marker disruption or distribution uplink is the Sakia stratagem. Use this at the start of your shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit visible to a Sept character from your army. That unit will, and all their enemy units within 6 of it, gain the marker light counter. So that's the one where they just look at it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like you stack that plus D3+1 plus. I'm thinking that you can get a couple of units with 5 on them.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, GW, for allowing units to get marker lights. That's what this army is based around, and not just with dudes. So, your whole army is dead with marker lights, or you only have 2 marker lights left. Who cares? You can actually make the 2 that you have left pretty useful.
And correct me if I'm wrong, too. And this is a 2 command point one, by the way. So is the hot blooded one we just talked about. But what is it? It seems like I don't know. Oh, okay. So let me try to say what I'm saying here. There isn't a lot of stuff here, like, with captains and stuff that's just giving out blanket rerolls, bubbles and stuff. It seems like everything in here works off the marker light stratagem. So them giving the ability to, hey, like you said, your dudes are dead. You can still get those rerolls, perhaps. At least you just need one marker light to reroll the one.
And the style that they want you to play is like you can kind of be in all sorts of tactical positions. Not like let's all just pile around the captain.
Yeah, that's true too. So
that's always, anytime you don't have to be, every time you're not geography locked to a location to get your buffs is better.
Correct.
But I will say, from what I've heard so far, there is nothing in this book that truly gives the buffs.
Yeah, no, for sure. 5 marker lights gives you every buff ++1 to hit. 1 marker light gives you reroll 1s. And
from what I'm seeing, none of the commanders or captains or anything just have a, hey, we're just rerolling. Everybody stands by us.
So I mean, like the burst shot that is like every unit within 6 inches of the fucking primary is lit up. You're just saying every unit in my army that targets one of those 5 units is rerolling 1s before any marker light roll is rolled.
Before anything else, yeah.
So like they're not geo locked. You know what I'm saying? They can, so it does take a little bit of thinking, but I think overall the play style is going to be like you're gonna be able to spread out. You're not gonna have to castle. You can be able to make moves. Use your crew bubble wraps to protect you.
I think we might have to backpedal just a slight on that one because I just remember there's the Callion and the Monka stuff abilities, but it's once per battle. So you're not going to be sitting there for 6 turns with your dudes bubbling around each other, but you will be able to get that reroll failed to hits within the 6 of the commander if you don't move. Or
what are these?
So it's a Master of War ability. Once per battle at the beginning of your turn, a single commander from your army can declare Callion or Monka. Callion allows you to reroll failed hits for friendly sept within 6.
So yeah,
you can only do one or the other. You can't. Monka is units within 6 of the commander can both advance and shoot as if they haven't moved this turn.
Yeah, so I mean that's 6.
Both of those are really powerful. So that's kind of something that I was looking for as well.
It saves you. So like that saves you a lot of command points on turn 1. Right. Correct. So like that saves you a shitload of command points on turn 1 where you can literally just, because it's rerolls, right?
Reroll failed hit rolls. Yes.
So basically you can hit them with, so you pay, all you have to do is drop 2 CPs on the burst. And you just say this grouping of dudes has a marker light on them. And now every one of my army who's going to shoot this turn who matters is rerolling all his hits, especially if they're shooting one of those, they're hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. So like you're really economical on turn 1, and then you start digging into your command points turn 2 and on.
Yep. And then some characters like Farsight and Shadow Sun would allow you to do both of those, but not double. So like normally you can only do a Callion or Monka. They will allow you to do both. Per game. So I mean it isn't a static thing. It's something that you can do once, but we obviously see the strength in that. So that's definitely worth mentioning there.
Sometimes in 8th edition you just need to do it once.
Somebody quote that. Last but certainly not least stratagem is drop zone clear. For 2 command points, it's Farsight Enclaves. Choose a Enclave battlesuit from your army unit from your army that was set up on the battlefield using Mana Strike. Add 1 to hit rolls for that unit this phase.
Is that because their weapons are heavy?
I don't know. I mean, it's any Farsight Enclave battlesuit unit.
So
it could be.
Yeah, I see. So they come in through Deep Strike to get +1 to hit.
Yep, if you pay 2 command points.
Yeah, that's useful.
Yeah, but +1 to hit is not just re-rolling a hit. +1 is huge.
Mm-hmm. And we just kind of talked about taking Farsight as a secondary detachment because of the fusion blades. So
I see a
seems
lot. I
like-
see a lot of reroll. It's hit on 2, reroll on 1 potential here.
Yeah.
Yep. No, while and that's what makes Tau so interesting. It isn't just you sit back and shoot like Marines getting their bubbles and stuff. Yeah, you might get the bubble from the Monka or the Callion, whichever one it is, I forget. But there's still there's still a flexibility here that if you kind of separate out and start moving around, you're still strong with all these stratagems and things. So I'm not seeing, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not seeing anything like too crazy OP yet, but I'm also seeing a lot of flexibility that we don't see in other armies.
Yeah, I'll tell you that there's a lot of power in this. There's a lot of combos. There's a lot of layeredness. There's not just one person, as we've all kind of outlined. There's not just one person you go for. Mm-hmm. Hey, I know that I got to kill Gilliman or the dude standing around Gilliman here.
And this actually fits Juice right into the brigade that we've been talking about. Is like brigade has a pretty eclectic smattering of dudes. Mm-hmm. So you can really fill out a brigade with a bunch of dudes to take advantage of all these abilities and stratagems.
So Haswell, take us out.
Ghost of the Gazarian, good evening. As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the next convenient parallel dimension.